You don't want to feel this way, and yet you keep going back to it. The old wound, the memory that still stings, the story you've told yourself 1,000 times. What if the pain isn't something that's happening to you? What if somewhere beneath your awareness, you've learned to need it? Problem deep dive. You replay the argument. Not to solve it, just to feel it again. You revisit the moment they left, the moment you failed, the moment things broke. And you tell yourself you're just processing, that you're trying to understand. But hours pass, and you're still there, in that same moment, turning it over and over like a stone you can't put down. This is called rumination, and psychology defines it not as reflection, but as repetitive, passive focus on distress. Research from Susan Nolan Hoeksema at Yale found that people who ruminate don't feel better over time. They feel worse, and yet they cannot stop. Why? Because somewhere in the brain, pain has become familiar, and the brain doesn't distinguish between what is good for you and what it recognizes. It only knows this is known. This is safe, even when it hurts. Reframe. Before we go further, you need to hear this. You are not broken. You are not self-destructive by nature. You are not someone who loves suffering. You are someone whose nervous system learned a language early on, and that language was pain. Not because you chose it, but because it was consistent. In psychology, this is called emotional conditioning. The feelings you experienced most reliably as a child, even if they were heavy, even if they were lonely, became your nervous system's baseline, its home frequency. You didn't fall in love with pain. Psychological mechanism. Here is what's happening beneath the surface. Your brain runs on prediction. It is constantly modeling the world, asking what comes next. When something matches its prediction, the brain releases a small reward signal, not because the thing is good, but because it was expected. This is the dopamine system, not just a pleasure circuit, but a pattern recognition system. And here is where it gets quietly dangerous. If your earliest emotional experiences were painful, abandonment, criticism, instability, your brain built its model around those feelings. Now, when life gets quiet, when things feel too calm, too easy, too good, your brain becomes uncertain, and uncertainty feels like threat. So it reaches back into the archive and pulls out the familiar ache. Not to hurt you, to orient you. Think of it like a compass that was calibrated in a storm. In clear weather, it still points toward the clouds. Practical framework. So how do you recalibrate? Not with force, not with willpower, with deliberate repetition of the unfamiliar. Principle 1. Name the pull. When you feel the urge to revisit old pain, don't fight it. Name it. My brain is reaching for something familiar. Naming activates the prefrontal cortex, the part of you that observes rather than reacts. Distance begins with a word. Principle 2. Interrupt the loop with sensation. Rumination lives in the mind. Sensation lives in the body. Cold water on your face, your feet on the floor, slow breath, 4 counts in, 6 counts out. This activates the parasympathetic nervous system. It signals you are here, not there. The past cannot be felt. Only the present can. Principle 3. Build a new familiarity. The goal is not to feel happy. The goal is to make calm feel normal. This takes time. It takes repetition. 5 minutes of stillness each morning. Not meditation, just presence. You are training your baseline. You are recalibrating the compass. Slowly, consistently, without force. Principle 4. Grieve what the pain gave you. This one is rarely spoken. The pain had a function. It made you feel something when numbness threatened. It kept you connected to people and moments you had to let go. It gave you an identity, the one who endures. You don't have to shame that. You have to grieve it. Because leaving pain behind is its own kind of loss, and it deserves to be honored. Integration. Here is the simple model to hold on to. Think of your nervous system as a river carved by years of the same water. The water of worry, of grief, of not quite enough. The riverbed runs deep in those channels. You cannot fill them overnight. But every time you choose presence over rumination, calm over chaos, stillness over the familiar ache, you send a small current in a new direction. And rivers, given enough time, always follow the new path. Not because they were forced, because water, like healing, moves toward the open space. Quiet, empowering close. You've carried this longer than you know. Not because you're weak, but because you're a human being whose brain did exactly what it was designed to do. Survive. Find pattern. Find ground. Find home. And somewhere along the way, pain became the closest thing to home you had. But you are not your history. You are the one who noticed. And noticing, that's where it begins. Not with a breakthrough, not with a revelation. With one quiet moment of choosing differently. That's enough. That's always been enough.